everyone, welcome to another episode of Rebel Rewind. My name's Christopher, and with me as always is my buddy Eric over here. Hey Eric, how's it going? How are you doing?
Pretty well. How you doing, Christopher?
Good. Just went back to work after a long weekend. Had our Canadian Thanksgiving up here yesterday.
Okay.
So
Nice.
So happy belated Thanksgiving to any Canadians in the chat or watching. So yeah, I know you guys do your Thanksgiving like almost like the third week of November, right? I believe.
Yeah, towards the end of November. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got Patrick in the chat. It's a nice Star Wars Funko ad just before the live stream. That's funny. That worked out well.
Yeah,
so what's new with you? You and any I saw your haul, or not your haul video, your hunt video there. You went to
Yep.
Yeah, you went to
Ross.
Ross, yes.
Yeah. I went to Ross yesterday and actually over the weekend. So finally edited and put it out. I think it'll be available tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, my time, Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
So I'll be up for general public. So it was for my channel members.
Yep. So we got some pretty hot topics, I think, this week.
Yeah, we were just talking about that hot topic.
Yeah. So shall we kick things off?
Sure.
This first article. All right, so this first article, it's about a transgender stormtrooper. So fans are starting to lash out over this transgender stormtrooper, and the big quotation in the title is "No freaking way." So, Secrets of the Clone Troopers, which is a book that's under that same book franchise, Star Wars Secrets of whatever. So they had the Secrets of the Sith, Secrets of the Jedi, and now Secrets of the Clone Trooper. And in this book here, the decision to include a transgender character in a new Star Wars project has sparked a strong reaction from its super vocal fan base, which some being more supportive than others. So the book came out last Tuesday, I believe it was, on the 8th, I think it was, and it didn't take long for the clone trooper, which is named Sister, a transgender character, it didn't take long for people to go to social media and give their very strong opinions. So in the book, I guess it showed an image of the character and a description and stuff like that. So let's jump into some of the stuff here on Twitter or X. So Jedi or Star Wars Holocron posted this one. The Secrets of the Clone Troopers includes a first look at Sister, a trans woman clone trooper. Rex's description of Sister in the book reads, "When one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow troopers, she featured she'd have to hide who she was." Let me see if it shows more. Let me just put this in. So here's the Twitter. Here's a continued one. So yeah, when one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow troopers, she featured. I think they meant to put. She figured she'd have to hide who she truly was inside. Fortunately, her brothers in the 7th Sky Corps gave her the name Sister as a constant reminder that she belonged. So that's what they posted on X, on Twitter. And then, of course, unsurprisingly, this prompted fans to flock to social media to offer their 2 cents on the character, and many are outraged over Sister's presence in the book. So you can see there's a few here. One person says disgusting and lore breaking. Disney should be ashamed of themselves. One person says very happy to see them doubling down on inclusivity and telling transphobes to F off. The existence of one story element that won't affect anything triggers you that much. That's a you thing. Another fan says, I love this. More diversity in the clones and representation through each of them, trying to make their existence more than just being a killing machine for the Republic. Another fan says, "What?" with a confused face. Another person says, "What happened to the franchise I love?" And then another fan posted, "This can't be real. It's got to be a parody. There's no freaking way." So some mixed comments on X on Twitter. We can go through some more if you want to in a moment, Eric. But at, at first, many thought the character image was created using artificial intelligence, with one person asking if it was a parody, another voiced disdain for the new plot, suggesting the franchise had changed to become more woke. So while the outrage at Sister may be new, the character has actually been around since 2022, making her initial debut in the book Queen's Hope. And then she was also featured in Brotherhood, which is another Star Wars book as well in the same year. And in the book Queen's Hope, she was featured fighting alongside Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Commander Cody. So I don't know. Now that they posted this image and stuff from this new book, now fans are outraging over this. Do you want to jump into the comments first, or do you want to? Should we give our opinion here first?
Oh, let's go into the comments. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's check out some of these comments here, yeah, because some of them are pretty. Because it's a hot topic, yeah. This was posted October 9th. There's 4.5 million views already, so. Yeah, so I think we saw this post, this comment, "Can't be real, it's got to be a parody." Is she fondling rebel kids? One person says. This person says, "Anakin canonically coined the term for trans people in the Star Wars universe." So there's an image here. The Jedi are all about transcending things. I don't think we can complain if you've transcended gender. Well, we'll work on it, but I like where it's heading. So this is a conversation between Anakin and Sister in the book Queen's Hope.
That's an actual conversation on the.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an actual conversation from the book Queen's Hope. So this is from the this is a snippet of the audio book, but it is in the book Queen's Hope. So someone else posted this is lore breaking and cringe. Rex would literally scoff at this guy and tell him that he's a liability to the battlefield due to insanity. This person says, "Looks bad, man. New Disney Star Wars trans clone trooper of the 42nd percent regiment. High rate of friendly fire, requires weekly back to tank estrogen treatments. Pronouns are test/tube." Another one. The person says, "Is anyone else wondering just how bad it can get? We keep hitting levels where I say, surely this is the lowest that they'll let Star Wars go, and they blow right past it the next day like it's nothing." Another person says, "Exclusivity is exclusively in charge of watching younglings." Another person says, "Sadly, this bold and brave trooper was the only suicide recorded amongst the tens of millions of troopers. He was defective." So there's a lot of people who don't like it. This person says, "I salute Sister for her service to the Republic." So that's a supporter there. A lot of people questioning if it's real. So yeah, the comments just go on and on and on. This one says she's literally has a trans flag on her armor. The transgender flag. This is supposed to be a galaxy far, far away, not downtown California. These people just love to kill, escapism, and fantasy. Yeah, so the comments just go on and on. You guys can check it out you can check the article and then the link to the Twitter. It'll be in the description below for you guys to check out. Yeah, so it's a hot topic. Yeah, it's a pretty hot topic here. So
I'm sure everybody's got their opinion, right?
Yeah, everyone's got their opinions, and that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinions. Just keep it friendly. Keep it. Be civil with each other. this doesn't bother me at all. I actually like this. I like that Star Wars is being inclusive of these minorities, not just obviously the sexual orientation of a clone, but like also like different races in Star Wars. Like back in 1980 when Empire Strikes Back came out, like Lando was he was like a main character. He was a black person as a main character in Star Wars, so that was huge too, right? So stuff like that. And then we got like the first gay person in Star Wars, like in a Star Wars movie at the end of Rise of Skywalker, where they had that female on female kiss. It's just I'm on the side where I think it's good for them to include these minorities. Like the world's changing, society's changing, and it's good that Star Wars is changing with the world and with society. Those are my thoughts on that. But what are your thoughts on this this hot topic?
Well, first, I'm just going to take another path.
Yeah.
No hate towards anybody who feels that way or see themselves in that way. But for me, I think this just kind of feels insincere by Disney, in my opinion, because they could have done this in 2008 when they did the Clone Wars, right? They could have added this character into the Clone Wars. And to me, I think it just kind of feels like they're trying to shoehorn or wedge this into Star Wars, and which it never was a part of before. I mean, because I think they see it as something that society is starting to see this as more acceptable, or maybe even trendy. But just as the clones there are clones of them. They're basically just another carbon copy of one another, even though each one had their own distinct personality. But DNA genetically, they are the same as the other. They shouldn't. I think unless they're altered by maybe the Kaminoans to have them to feel like they're another gender rather than the gender they are, then that would mean that maybe they were modified and maybe belong to Clone Force 99. I mean, I don't know, but I think genetically they should biologically be the same and have the same kind of maybe their job is what they're supposed to be doing. Not concerned about how they feel and just taking care of what they're made to do, to be soldiers. But I just think that's just they're just trying to shoehorn this kind of stuff into Star Wars, and like before it never was a thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, and like I said, there's no hate or anything, animosity.
Yeah,
just that I think that's how what I feel. It's because it's trendy now, or it's because it's more acceptable now. They could have done that in 2009 and it would have been groundbreaking for Star Wars.
Yeah. So and that's fair. That's a fair opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, just like everyone's entitled to their own opinion as well. So like you said, like if they introduced a transgender clone in the Clone Wars, would you have been like would you have the same view on it then? Or
by now it would be totally okay. We know this clone, so it wouldn't be there wouldn't be a stink now. It's already been out there, Now it's because it's trendy. It's more popular to support or whatever. But
right.
I mean, transgenderism has been around since forever. How come that step is done right now when it's a hot topic?
Yeah.
It just seems like they're trying to shoehorn it in because it's a popular thing. It's acceptable now, or more acceptable now.
Yeah. And
I think to me, it's like they're trying to force something, and they're basically just splitting up the fandom. I mean, I know people are going to be upset about this either way that it came out in 2008, but it's like right now, it's like people are really not together in the Star Wars, and we're supposed to like escape from our world, right, in our Earth, problems that we deal with nowadays, and to escape into something that's far beyond our issues.
Yeah. So I think their reasoning for doing it now is because, like what you said, that it's more accepted now. I mean, not by everyone. Obviously, there's still people who have a problem with people expressing their sexuality like that, or people, not feeling like they're the right gender or whatever, and they have to go through that stuff. So I think that's why they probably did it now. Like the article mentioned, like the character's not new. Like the character did get brought into canon back in 2022, so like 2 years ago. Yeah, so I mean, it's just I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden it's getting all this attention just because of an image.
I think what makes it more complicated is the fact that they're supposed to be clones, right? And that's where the main issue is. Nobody would care if this was another character, another race, or a human. That's not a clone. I think that's one of the main issues about this, is that this is not.
So you think it would have been better if they'd made it like a different character?
If they would have made another
type of character,
another human, non-clone, it would have probably been a little bit more acceptable, because that's more. It's like you said, is more acceptable now. But
right?
To break the mold of a clone, that means that biologically this clone is not like his other brothers, and when they're supposed to be genetically the same, unless they're like Clone Force 99, who are augmented for certain traits. Other than that, they should pretty much.
I see your point there. I do see your point there, but I disagree with it like that, which is fine. Like you're entitled. Like I said, we're both entitled to our opinions here, and let us know in the comments and in the chat what your thoughts are. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this clone feeling like it wants to be another gender is any different than a clone wanting to express their artisticness by putting different designs on their clones on their helmet, right? Yeah,
tattoos,
and doing the tattoos. Like there's like tattoo ones with tattoos on their face and stuff. I don't think it's any different. I think the clones, they're genetically the same. Like it's not a female clone. It's a male clone that identifies as female. So I think it's I would imagine their training and their obedientness to take orders from the Jedi, their generals and stuff would be all the same. Programming it, she would have the chip in there. It's just this clone feels like they should be a female, so they're expressing their feminine side more, I guess, is how I see it. But like I said, like we're both entitled to our own opinions. Like you do make some valid points as well. But let us know what your thoughts are on it down in the comments, in the description. Let us know what your thoughts are on this, because it is
in no way a professional on stuff, man. I'm naive in some of this, but it just, to me, it doesn't jive. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is something that's creating a lot of controversy on social media, for sure. Even Star Wars Theory, like I saw his video. He posted a video about it, and he said he doesn't have a problem with it, but he said he doesn't understand why they're doing it now, which is kind of in the middle. That's I guess I would. Yeah. You said that you think that they should have done it earlier. Why now? But I guess maybe it's more accepted now. Maybe I don't know if it was as accepted in 2008. Like there were transgendered people obviously watching these shows back then, but maybe it's more accepted now because we've now we have quite a few transgendered actors in Hollywood now too, since the early 2000s as well. So
I think it would have been
I think
a little bit less of an issue if it was just any other human.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think this was the best way to do it in a book, or do you think like what if they introduced
that is
this
definitely
clone?
the best way to do it.
What do you think if they had introduced it in the Bad Batch, say? Because like you said, it seems more like something that would have been like a trait that's been changed or whatever genetically.
Oh,
like,
they would have to.
Do you think it would have? Do you think it would have been better in the Bad Batch or something? Or
I think if they would have brought it up in the Bad Batch, they would have to have some kind of reasoning or some kind of why the character is like this. I mean, it's all like really in-depth stuff, and like I said, I am not a professional on any of the subjects.
Yeah.
But maybe it would have been something that they would have been like looking into or something like that. Why?
Yeah.
Or they maybe would have just introduced the character, and we would have been like, oh, okay. Because it was less of an issue. I guess it was less of a. So this, like I said, this is like more of a hot topic at this moment in time. If it was introduced like maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago or something like that, it would have been like more okay, we know it. We know this character.
Yeah. I mean, we did only get the like I mentioned, the first gay character on screen in The Rise of Skywalker 2019. So
and that did make people did complain about it. But
and people complained about it as well.
It's bridge over the water or water over the bridge or something like that. It's already we saw it. Okay, all right, we acknowledge that it's out there.
Yeah. So I think the same will happen here. I think people will like finally move on past it, like, because I don't think it's not like a major issue. Like it could be a great character. Like maybe we get this character in animation form at some point, and maybe it turns out to be a really awesome character. Like I said, I just think it's good that they're doing this, including these minorities, right? So like when a young boy who's transgender sees this character, they can kind of relate to the character now, right? They have a character in Star Wars that they can relate to, that they recognize, and they can be like, oh, okay, like I could be a Star Wars character now. I could be a clone trooper. I can cosplay as a clone trooper when I get older or whatever. So I think the inclusivity is nice. And maybe not everyone will agree with that, but that's fine. Let's jump into the chat, though. There are some comments in the chat. Sci-fi in the chat. Hey, Sci-fi says, I don't know what to make of it.
Me either.
Patrick says, we've had clones leave and have a family, become farmers, so I don't care. The whole clone story is how they all slowly became their own identity. That's true, right? Because we had the I can't remember the character's name, but he went off and started his own family. Patrick says, using names, not their CT numbers. So Rex, Cody, Fives, Jesse, etc. Yeah. So Sci-fi said, having idiosyncratic tattoos, hairstyles, and armor paint was a natural thing for the clone strain to do, but when it comes to identity, I don't know. Yeah, see, and that's fine. Like, if you're not, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you like this, that's fine too. I'm on the side. I like it. I like this idea, the inclusivity and stuff. And I don't see it any different than like what Patrick said, like leaving to become farmers either. Like that's kind of odd as well, but I guess these clones eventually form their own personalities and learn stuff and all that stuff, right? Like it's not like this clone was like a young clone and figured out this early on, right? Like it's a full grown clone from the picture. So, but yeah, quite a bit of yeah, it's quite the hot topic for sure. But again, let us know in the comments or in the chat what you guys think of this. And what do you say? We move on to the next article there?
Yeah. All right. So we got some releases of these badge art for Star Wars Celebration 25 in Japan. Amazing, epic artwork. Look at that.
Yes.
So the original, the artist for this, the artwork is Takumi. Fans attending the Star Wars Celebration in Japan next year will be treated with stunning badges featuring artwork from Japanese artist Takumi. StarWars.com has revealed 5 of the 17. I can't wait to see all the rest of these. These are stunning. New badges designed that attendees will be able to pick up and collect. Let's see if Tony can be able to pick me up. I want that, that Luke Skywalker one. That's amazing. So these designs are all done in the ukiyo-e style. Takumi was born in the northern region of Hakoida. Takumi talks to StarWars.com and stated that his love for Star Wars began at a young age of 8. He started working on the badge and spent a lot of time revisiting the characteristics and the backgrounds of each character, thinking about how to adapt the narrative into the ukiyo-e style. I look back at the stories depicting the masterpieces by ukiyo artists in the past, analyzing the motifs, elemental woven into their composition, and thought about the character's narrative, which would fit best with the theme. The process requires blending them with aspects of traditional Japanese clothing, decoration, armor, and weaponry, and determining the right level of modification. He says it was a challenging task, but once the ideal style was achieved, it was immensely rewarding. I gotta say, I'm not sure which one's your favorite, Chris, but that Luke Skywalker is just stunning.
They're all really stunning artwork for sure. And this is just 5 of 17, so I know you're probably hoping for a Boba Fett. Am I right? Yeah, I'm personally I'm hoping to see like a Darth Maul in a samurai.
Maul looks sick.
Yeah, right. Darth Maul would look sick. I think my favorite is the Darth Vader and the Mando.
Yeah,
are my 2 favorites. But they're all beautiful.
Look like how when you make them, is.
Yeah,
like fire or like steam coming off of the blades.
Yeah, so there's a Yoda one.
Yoda looks cool. Hey, right? I was looking at the one with Grogu. Even Grogu looks amazing.
So there's the Luke Skywalker one again with the blade almost looking like flames.
Yep.
The Ahsoka, same thing.
Look at the bottom of her sandals. I'm not sure what's.
Yeah.
So much detail.
Her sandals. Yeah. And I do like that that the characters are like popping off the page because they all have this kind of white border, but then the character comes out of that frame there, right? So I do like that. Aside from the Yoda, like the Yoda's not popping off, but like the other characters are coming out of off the artwork a bit.
Would it be cool?
So I do like that style.
The Yoda would have had a stone coming out off the edges or something.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully, and with the rest of this 17 of them, hopefully we get there's a Darth Maul one there somewhere, and like I said, Boba Fett. I'm sure you're waiting for is a Boba Fett one. So, two sticky bitches. My Mrs. Seriously Star Wars says they have personality. Why can't they have the same confusion we have as people? Personally, it shows in many ways.
Right.
Sci-Fi said the Vader one is sweet since he was based on a samurai. Yeah. And Patrick says Ahsoka and Vader for me, though Luke is coming in there too. Yeah, they're all great. It's tough to choose a favorite. But on to the next story. We have another Ahsoka season 2 update with an actual date for when they're going to start filming now. So this is from the Bespin Bulletin. Star Wars Ahsoka season 2 to begin filming in spring 2025. So it's been over a year since the Ahsoka series was airing on Disney Plus, and Lucasfilm have confirmed the second season of the series is in the works. There's been very little updates in regard to the second season, but today there's an update to when cameras might start rolling. So recently, the star of Ahsoka, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who plays Sabine Wren, mentioned that filming on the series would already be underway come August 2025. Some fans took this to mean that filming would begin in August, but that's not the case. And what Bordizzo said is just that the second season will already be filming by August of next year. So over the past couple months, there have been talk of the same window to start filming on the second season of Ahsoka repeatedly. And now apparently there's some confirmation that it could start filming sometime in April or May next year, and filming would likely run until around August or September. Production weekly can be hit or miss, but in the later stages of the last week shed a May start, which aligns with the information that was gotten for this article here. So the next series, Skeleton Crew, is due out to release December 3rd, 2024. The second final season of Andor is due to release next year. So Ahsoka would probably come out in 2026 at some point. So it's exciting to know that they're actually going into filming spring now. Like, we actually have a somewhat of a date. We have a month. We have April or May of next year. So that's good. And then the article says that the Mandalorian and Grogu comes out May 2026, May 22nd of 2026. So this show could come out either just before or just after the movie, which I think you and I have both speculated that maybe there's some tie-ins there between the second season of Ahsoka and the Mando and Grogu movie, which would be cool.
Yep.
So, but what are your thoughts? Are you excited for production to begin on this second season of Ahsoka?
Yes, definitely. I can't wait to see what we're gonna have. I mean, it's gotta start off like hard. I mean, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and with all the rumors we've heard too, with with Abeloth,
and
yeah, and with the rumors of Abeloth coming and them recasting Baylan Skoll.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm still wondering what they're gonna do about that. But
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sci-Fi said we need season 2 of Ahsoka. It finished on what's gonna happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a big cliffhanger for sure. McClunky Cast says hello everyone. Hey, thanks for hopping in the chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, so exciting news from the Ahsoka series. So,
all right. So, yeah, definitely. I can't wait. So hopefully, yeah, there will be a tie-in to season 2.
Hopefully, yeah.
So Star Wars officially returns in 2025 with new legacy. Star Wars is getting a brand new release in 2025 that'll unite a bunch of characters fans have been wanting to see interact with one another in a new dawn. Our galaxy far, far away gets even bigger, though. When you dive into the Marvel comics, which tells the new unique stories with Luke, Leia, Han, and the rest of the gang, they're also a great way to fill in the gaps that will happen between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, a new comic is coming in 2025 called Star Wars: A New Dawn, and it aims to unite a bunch of fan favorite characters who've appeared in on their own comic storyline. So the editor Mark Paniccia spoke about the comic, saying, "This is the monumental moment we've been waiting for, celebrating a decade of the reunion of Marvel Comics and Star Wars." So we're gonna have some good, good baseline on that after Return of the Jedi and into the the Force Awakens. So maybe with some good information on where these characters are doing at that time in this new canon era.
Yeah. Sci-Fi says, gotta go, fellas. Cheers. Thanks
Sci-Fi
for hopping in the chat,
out,
Sci-Fi. We appreciate it. Yeah, so it's interesting that it says there's it'll unite a bunch of fan favorite characters, but it doesn't actually make mention of the characters though. But it could be cool either way because there's a bunch of characters that are still alive.
Okay, they're saying that it's
period,
not,
right?
and it's not going to be including these characters. Maybe I read that wrong. Okay, unique stories away from Luke, Leia, Han, and the rest of the gang. Okay, so maybe it's going to be a setup on the First Order, how they become as powerful as they are, or some different character.
Yeah, is that what it says? Away from them, or
yeah, it says them? Away.
Oh yeah, unique stories away from Luke, Leia, and Han,
including those characters. So when I first read that, I thought they were including these characters, but this is
well, I think they might be in the New Dawn stuff. Yeah, the article's a little bit weird because it doesn't mention which characters they're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it says when you dive into the Marvel comics, like which tell new unique stories. So I think it's talking about existing stories that which tells unique stories away from Luke, Leia, and Han. So maybe they're going to bring them in to these stories now with some characters from The Force Awakens, with stories with possibly Mandoverse characters that are in the Republic. So maybe we'll see like Carson Teva show up in some of these comics. It would be pretty cool to see stuff finally taking shape. See some of these characters interact. Yeah.
So when they say away, I was thinking about that they were going to be included into this, but maybe it's not going to be included with these main characters. So
right.
We'll see what comes out of Marvel / Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be like almost like a prequel in a different form, obviously, in comics and stuff, but it'll be a prequel to what the big Dave Filoni movie uniting all these characters will be like, right? So should be interesting to see what happens. All right, so moving into the next article. So I think we talked a little bit about this last week as well, but some new information from Giancarlo Esposito. So this comes from the direct.com. So Giancarlo Esposito teases Moff Gideon's resurrection after the villain's death in Mandalorian Season 3 finale. So Moff Gideon seemingly died at the end of Mandalorian Season 3, but it might not stick. So the actor behind the Mandalorian's formidable villain, Moff Gideon, teased the character's possible return in a future Star Wars project. So Giancarlo was at LA Comic-Con, I think a couple of weeks ago now, where he said that when asked by a fan if he would participate in a possible season 4 of The Mandalorian, he noted that he would love to, while also admitting that he does not know if there will be another season of the show. He said, quote, "Well, I would love to. I don't know much what's going on. I know they're making a film. I don't know if they're going to return to the show or not. But anything is open. I certainly left the best opening ever for Moff Gideon to come back. I love it when you see a character go over the edge, but you don't quite know what happens. So after telling a fun story about an interaction between him and the producer Jon Favreau on the set, the actor firmly noted that he can, quote, almost guarantee that Moff Gideon is still hiding out somewhere. So he said, I quote, I remember our last season when I came to set, I had a different haircut because I figured I was in prison for a while. I had no mustache, and then before I started shooting, Jon Favreau came down, and he kind of looked at me, and he went, scratched his head. He went, no mustache, and I went, no mustache. And so it leaves it open with all of those clones that there's a possibility that Moff Gideon is still hiding out somewhere, wanting to come back and take over. I can almost guarantee it. So you know what? I'm on the same page as him. Like I think it was probably a clone that that was the one who died, or if he died at all, right? We didn't like Giancarlo said, we didn't see a body. We just saw the flames, him burst into flames, but he's wearing Beskar armor, right? Which should protect him pretty well as well, right? So anything's possible. I would love to see Moff Gideon come back because Giancarlo does such a great job as Moff Gideon as well. So
looks like he got out the TIE fighter.
Yeah, right. So whether he actually comes back as the original Moff Gideon or a clone or whatever that survived, should be interesting to see. But what are your thoughts on it?
Man, that's my guy right there, man. I like when he speaks. He gives so much stuff and information on stuff that he should be like, being kind of quiet about stuff.
Yeah,
he's like I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, like we said last week, like he's the Tom Holland of the Star Wars universe. He's like giving this information out, and
but that makes sense. I mean, with his Beskar armor that he survived that, or that maybe there's other clones that were maybe if that one died, other clones around. That was something that he created. So I want him back. I want him back for another season.
Yeah, I would love to see him.
He's a great villain. I mean, his character is what he brings to the table. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
So on to, I think this is my last. Oh no, second to last story. Okay, so Iman Esfandi reveals the incredible story of how he became Star Wars Ezra Bridger. So he revealed an extraordinary tale of how he learned of how and ultimately secured the role of the older Ezra Bridger. He said, I didn't know Clone Wars or Rebels, and I had only ever really seen Revenge of the Sith. He says, I was online and someone came up to talk about someone playing Space Aladdin. He says, what? Play Space Aladdin? He says, I'm interested in that. So he was talking to, so someone made a picture. Pandora Young Art came up with the image that he said that looked very similar to him. So in this it was an older version of how Ezra would look like when he came back from Peridia. He says, and it looked like me, kind of. So I went and looked and saw a little bit of the Rebels, and then got this interesting intuitive feeling, kind of like had this dialogue with that Force Ghost version of Ezra in my living room. So I said yes to Ezra, and the intuition told me to send these photos of me and Ezra side by side. So he sent it to his agent, and he told him, hey, when it's casting, I'm going to play this character. 6 months later, he gets the anonymous audition while he was doing a different film. He said within a couple of days, he was offered the role. He was definitely feeling connection to Ezra again while he was in the audition. And he was like, oh, Ezra, you're back. That was a very, very, very cool story of how he became Ezra, and because of this fan art. Just like what was the name of the artist that did the Ahsoka fan art? Yeah. So sometimes it's just those little sparks like that can motivate a character to like, hey, I'm going for this, or I'm very interested.
I think that's great because I actually sat in his panel that he did when he was at Edmonton Expo here a few weeks ago now. And
did he talk anything about this?
Yeah, he actually talked about this. Yeah, he said he talked about the same story of how he basically was he he was in his living room, and the Force ghost of the animated Ezra came to him in his living room, and they had a conversation, and then he sent the photos to his agent, and with the photos of Ezra side by side, and he said, you know, when this thing starts casting, use these photos, and you know, I'm gonna get this role. I'm gonna play this role, and then he got it, right. So no, he told pretty much his whole story, just about like word for word as well, like that how he got this role. So I think that's awesome, man. And
to hear from him from his voice.
Yeah, and Amon Esfandi did such a fantastic job as a live action Ezra. Like he had that chemistry with Sabine Wren, which they had in the animated in Star Wars Rebels as well. So he found that and got that with the he had that same chemistry there, and just like he even got his mannerisms right and stuff like that. So like, yeah, Amon did such an incredible job, and hopefully he does come back in season 2. I would imagine he would, but I can't wait to see Ahsoka season 2 and see Ezra show up again in season 2 and see him show up in more Star Wars content as well, right?
So I wonder if he's going to shave his beard.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. I guess he could, but I'm excited. I'm excited that we have a live action Ezra, and it's played by a great actor such as Amon Esfandi. So Patrick says he rocked as a live action Ezra. Yes, he did. Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm excited. Like I said, he's a great actor, and he did a great job as Ezra, a live action Ezra. So, but jumping into the next article here. So there's this is just a rumor, but this comes from Screen Rant. Star Wars, the next movie, can break a tradition that runs all the way back to 1977. So while most Star Wars movies follow a formula the franchise expected to adhere to, The Mandalorian and Grogu can defy tradition and include something the films have never had, picking up where The Mandalorian Season 3 left off. The Mandalorian and Grogu will continue the adventures of Din Djarin and his now adopted son, Din Grogu, kicking off the next wave of upcoming Star Wars movies in 2026 and 2027. It will be the first Star Wars movie released since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker, and the franchise's first spin-off film since Solo: A Star Wars Story in 2018. But The Mandalorian and Grogu will also be the first film released as the next chapter of a Star Wars TV show. This puts the film in a position to differentiate itself from previous Star Wars movies and set a precedent for what filmmakers can do in upcoming releases. One way Jon Favreau and his team can do this is by introducing something that has been done in the TV shows, but never in Star Wars in a Star Wars movie, bringing The Mandalorian and Grogu to a close while teasing the franchise's next big project. So what they're talking about is that The Mandalorian and Grogu will likely have a post-credit scene, which we've seen Marvel movies do it all this time. So as a spin-off film, The Mandalorian and Grogu would have an easier time going against Star Wars tradition by including post-credit scenes. With so many TV shows in production alongside Star Wars movies, a post-credit scene would help to clarify which release audiences should anticipate next and create excitement for future stories. So this strategy worked effectively with The Mandalorian Season 2's post-credit scene, which set up the Book of Boba Fett as the next chapter in the Mandoverse saga. So it does make sense that they would. It does make sense that they would do it, and like they could tease the next movie in the trilogy. They could tease, yeah, right.
Bring more people to subscribe.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think it could work for Star Wars to have end post credit scenes? Because like Marvel's been doing it for forever, right? Since Iron Man 1, right? So
I think it's clever.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's clever that if they were to utilize this, I mean, they got that space. People always like, I went to go watch Joker Part 2, and you kind of stick around till the end to see if there's anything teasing anything. But yeah, it's one of those things that when you watch a movie, you want a little bit more, little nudge into something, into what they're going to be working on next, or what to look forward to the next movie or series or show. So if they were to tie this into Disney Plus, and maybe that way you get all those people who went to go watch the movie to really, get them to subscribe to Disney Plus into something, the next season or whatever, or Ahsoka or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think they should utilize it.
Yeah.
It's could be a
smart move.
Yeah, it's not it's not a adaptation to the Star Wars, like the episode, any of the episodes of the movies. It's its own thing. So why not utilize that?
Yeah, exactly. Patrick says, "Gotta go, fellas." All right, Patrick, thanks for chatting with us in the chat. Yeah, no, it could be a smart move for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
you got all these people sitting down, and they, like I said, most people, especially with like a comic book movie or something like that, stick around towards the end to see if there's any end credit scenes. So I think that'd be pretty smart.
Yeah, right. I think the closest to an end credit scene is they had I think it was Phantom Menace. They had the Darth Vader breathing at the end of the Phantom Menace credits. I think that was the closest thing we've gotten in a movie, right? I mean, in the Mandalorian, like the article says, in the Mandalorian season 2, they had the end credit scene for the Book of Boba Fett, right? So it would be smart for them to do. Yeah,
I wouldn't expect that this is going to be episode 10, Star Wars episode 10. I don't expect but from its own, Mandalorian or movies like this that they bring into from the series into the big screen. That would be cool.
Yeah, even if it's just like they take a scene that sets up, say, the Ahsoka show or whatever, right? The Ahsoka season 2, right? Because that's going to come out around the same time as this, so they could do that.
Yep.
And it would be a good time to do it. So very cool.
All right, so down to got off track right there. So Ewan McGregor says they're exploring a possible Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. The actor Ewan McGregor says that they are exploring possibilities for a second season. McGregor has been saying he is on board of returning to the return of the studio if they decide to. So obviously between the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's got to be another few stories in there. And I really like the idea of if they were to do, like, if they don't do a season 2, but if they do a Clone Wars adaptation, right, with and Ewan, that'd be awesome. And what's the girl's name? Green Black. Forgot her first name, but as Ahsoka, young Ahsoka.
Oh yeah. Even if they did like some sort of flashbacks during the Kenobi series back to the Clone Wars, but like there is some story you can tell between that time period between the Kenobi series and like Kenobi season 1 and A New Hope, right? Like you can get some live action Darth Maul in there, because like who's to say he doesn't go and fight Darth Maul again, right? Before he fights him the last time in Rebels, right? So yeah.
There's a lot of wiggle room there, and if they want to do another season, make him like the older Alec Guinness, But that's much later for maybe another season if they did get a green light for that. But I think there's a lot more stories that they can tell, and we want more. He was such a cool character, such a cool person, and then to bring Obi-Wan.
I just love how like all these actors like Ewan McGregor, even Hayden Christensen, Giancarlo Esposito, they're all like when they talk about the upcoming seasons or stuff like that, that you could tell that they're genuinely excited about, like wanting to come back if they can, right? Like, they're all excited. They're all genuine about it, and you can see it when they talk at these panels and stuff, and in interviews and stuff. So I just love how excited they get.
Most definitely. I'd love to see if they were to go into the Clone Wars era armor, like Anakin did Hayden.
Yeah, right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that does it for this week.
Very
for
interesting.
Rebel Rewind. some hot topics there. All the links to all the articles will be linked in the description below for you guys to check out if you want to read the full articles. And the first article, which has the link to the Twitter, the X posting about the transgender clone trooper, you can check that out as well. And again, in the comments, just let us know your thoughts on all of these articles and stuff, and let us know all that stuff. We'd love to hear from you. And go subscribe to our channels for more Star Wars content.
Chris, before we leave, man, nice choice of shirts.
Right? I was gonna say, like, the Force guided us to like wear the same shirts today, right? The Bad Batch, representing the Batch, right? Clone Force 99.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks everyone for hopping in the chat and joining us this evening, and we'll see everyone in the next episode.